Chapter 14. Establish a private life. Nastier rulers will use what they know about you to push you around. Scrub your computer of malware on a regular basis. Remember that email is skywriting. Consider using alternate forms of the internet or simply using it less. Have a personal exchange in person. For the same reason, resolve any legal trouble. Tyrants seek the hook on which to hang you. Try not to have these hooks. What the great political thinker Hannah Arendt meant by totalitarianism was not an all-powerful state, but the erasure of differences between private and public life. We are free only insofar as we exercise control over what people know about us, and in the circumstances they come to know it. During the campaign of 2016, Americans took a step towards totalitarianism without even noticing by accepting as normal the violation of electronic privacy. Whether it is done by Americans or Russian intelligence agencies, or, for that matter, by any institution, the theft and discussion of personal communications destroys a basic foundation of our rights. If we have no control over who reads what and when, we have no ability to act in the present or plan for the future. Whoever can pierce your privacy can humiliate you and disrupt your relationships at will. No one, except perhaps a tyrant, has a private life that can survive public exposure by hostile directives. The timed email bombs of 2016's presidential campaign were also a powerful form of disinformation. Words written in one situation make sense only in that context. The very act of removing them from their historical moment and dropping them in another is an act of falsification. What is worse, when the media followed the email bombs as if they were news, they betrayed their own mission. Few journalists made an effort to explain why people said or wrote the things they did at the time. Meanwhile, in transmitting privacy violations as news, the media allowed themselves to be distracted from the actual events of the day. Rather than reporting the violations as basic rights, our media generally preferred to mindlessly indulge with the inherently salacious interests we have in other people's affairs. Our appetite for the secret, thought Ardent, is dangerously political. Totalitarianism removes the difference between private and public, not just to make individuals unfree, but also to draw the whole society away from normal politics and towards conspiracy theories. Rather than defining facts or generating interpretations, we are seduced by the notion of hidden realities and dark conspiracies that explain everything. As we learned from the email bombs, this mechanism works even when what is revealed is of no interest. The revelations of what was once confined becomes the story itself. It is striking that news media are much worse at this than, say, fashion or sports reporters. Fashion reporters know that models are taking off their clothes in the changing rooms, and sports reporters know that athletes shower in the locker rooms. But neither allow private matters to supplant the public story that are supposed to be covered. When we take an active interest in matters of doubtful relevance at the moment that are chosen by tyrants, oligarchs, and spooks, we participate in the demolition of our own political order. To be sure, we might feel that we are doing nothing more than going along with everyone else. This is true, and it is what Ardent described as devolution of society into a mob. We can try to solve this problem individually by securing our own computers. We can also try to solve it collectively by supporting, for example, organizations that are concerned with human rights